Well, back guys to fog racing. It's currently what, 24 minutes to 8. We're in the park here on a Monday morning, here to review the Imola Rami Regano Grand Prix, whatever you call it. Max Verstappen led home for Lando Norris and Piastri. Was it that simple? No. And I tell you what, the tracks that you're expected to have quote unquote bad racing on, they're turning it to be alright. I thought this race was pretty good, and I think what helped it is the fact we were heading towards like 2-stop V1 stop, and throughout the different VSC periods and safety cars, you had people on way fresher tyres and people not on so fresh tyres, and I think the overtaking was actually pretty good. And yeah, a lot of questionable strategy, to say the least, to be honest. So yeah, let's get into the start of the race. I've sat down at a bench now. Things are going easy, because you are easy lover. Right, start of the race. Tell you what, Piastri got a decent start. Russell got the best, ends up getting boxed in, and Verstappen, right, ends up overtaking both of them. Well, Verstappen was obviously starting ahead of Russell, but he did get overtaken down the straight. But Verstappen, what a manoeuvre in the outside. Tell you what, I understand why Piastri boxed in Russell, but you would have rathered, see in hindsight, you would have rathered letting through George Russell. I think the McLaren would be able to overtake him on track, because, I mean, look at the state of George Russell's pace in the first stint. I mean, Norris was all over him, then Alonso and all were all over him. And, I mean, the crazy thing is, we're sitting here saying Alonso was all over him. What? See Aston Martin's strategy in that Grand Prix, man? Absolutely shockeruno, right? Now, admittedly, they didn't really have the pace on the hard tyre, so I don't think it really would have mattered at what point you pitted them, right? They would not have finished like 4th, 5th where Albon did. But guys, alright, let's just call a spade a spade. See the fact that Aston Martin did not split the strategy when like literally every team on the grid did. You know, McLaren pit Piastri, Norris stays out, Verstappen stays out, Antonelli stays out, Hamilton stays out, Leclerc, Russell, they pit. You know, Williams did the same with Sainz and Albon, right? And Aston Martin have thrown away good points, and it's a shame, like, because, you know, Alonso hasn't got points this year. He finished 11th, and, you know, he just ran out of laps at the end, because he was like, what, 15th, trying to fight his way through at the end on fresh tyres, and he got up to Shinoda. But obviously the Red Bull's a decent car, even in the hands of Shinoda. I mean, the guy, his teammate won the race, like, so it can't be that bad, and Aston Martin struggled to get past. But I think the good news is for Aston Martin, they've definitely took a massive step forward. And in Monaco, if you just get a decent qualifying, I mean, it is a 2-stop. Watch them fuck that up, but they should have just stayed out, honestly. They should have just stayed out in this Grand Prix. You know what I mean? Because it was so clear it was a 1-stop. You know, I think if Aston Martin stay out, they probably with Alonso, I think they finish about 7th. Both Ferraris and Albon probably would have beat him, but George Russell, I think they would have finished ahead of Russell, to be honest. So waste opportunity. But I mean, I get it, right? If you want to put Alonso and react to everyone else, but it doesn't make any sense. Like, you've seen like Leclerc beat the likes of Russell and all it on the outlaps. It's like, so why are we pitting Alonso? Leclerc was pretty unlucky with his strategy. Piastri pit it, but again, this is the problem. If Russell took the lead from Piastri for starting, right, I don't think he would have lasted that long in the lead. But Red Bull would have been the team to do the undercut. That's why it was so crucial. Like, see if Piastri, right, didn't let Verstappen through at the front, the team in second place always does the undercut. Verstappen would have been the one stuck in traffic. And would the Red Bull have been able to cut through the grid like the McLaren did? I mean, there's no guarantee, but yeah, I look at this race and probably few that the McLaren was probably a bit slower than the Red Bull, and I think, you know, the way the race finished kind of proves that. So we'll have to wait and see what's next. But in terms of other stuff, I mean, you had Ocon retiring, you had Antonelli retiring. You know, different strategies, good battles and all that stuff. I think this result does kind of put like Mercedes out of the fight with Russell. You know, the outside chance that they've had. Ferrari's race pace was much better, but yeah, just missed opportunities up and down the grid. Like I feel sorry for Albon because, you know, Leclerc kind of forced him off, and then Hamilton overtook him. Which, I mean, it could have been a penalty. I mean, I don't understand why Leclerc had to let him through, like, because I say it could have been a penalty, but by the letter of the law, it's not a penalty, so don't really understand what's happening there. But a good race through Imola, folks, a good race. Lots of drama, lots of overtaking, a few safety cars, which you can't beat, and yeah, decent wee race, guys, decent wee race. And then obviously, not too long to wait, it's Monday, and practice is on, well, actually Monaco do it on a Thursday, so, or did they change it? I'm pretty sure it is on a Thursday.